Sportivi, welcome to yet another edition of Red Card Weekly, here where we mostly speak about SerieA, some Champions League, sometimes some international, and yes, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. I'd like to introduce first to my left, Francis. You say SerieA has no conspiracies, so why does Milan always get the dubious penalties? Volo Giacomo. I have to my right, Steve. Steve, I'm having a little brain fart. Some people like some celery. Some people like zucchini, but I prefer a double bite of Gianpaolo Pazzini. Polillo? And I am Vince, even though after every Inter loss, I go outside and I throw confetti. But from all the soccer world, I hope we return back Capitano Zanetti.
Very classy, Vince. I'm happy.
There's at least there's one thing that I like about Inter, and it's him. Okay, so I hope he does get back soon. Zanetti, I hope he plays until he's 45, because he's always a classy guy, very classy.
So guys, let's start with Milan, that today played Catania, the afternoon game. They win 4-2. There was a lot of drama. They came twice from behind to win the game. Balotelli scores on a penalty. Again, a penalty.
But if the penalty is given with a minute left in the game and we're already winning,
it's not that. I just find it's easy for Milan to get a penalty.
It was a penalty to you? It was not the foot there? It was a 50-50 goal, but
But again, that 50-50 goes on the right
and
side.
And the handball, the handball in the first 10
minutes. You guys with the handballs, I don't want to hear the handballs. Milan and handball do not go in the same sentence, because it only goes one way, doesn't go the other way, whatever. So, Milan fights back twice to get back in the game.
Yes.
But guys, you have to be concerned still. They create a lot of chances, yes, they deserve to win. Wasn't a great performance. No. They're shaky at the back. Can they hold up and keep on playing like that till the end without dropping points and clinching that third spot?
And that's what I'm afraid about, honestly, because everybody's going to remember today as, well, your typical fans go, oh yeah, we scored 4 goals, we're attacking, but what me and Steve are going to say, another goal on a set piece, another header, and the other goal.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what we're saying, we're saying it again. And once again, our defense looks shaky. So we need to fix these kind of things, because we can't keep on scoring 3-4 goals. We need defense. We need
Allegri's defense there. What can he do at this stage in the season? I mean,
ask Allegri's favorite fan. He's going to tell you what Allegri did with them.
Unfortunately, with the defense, he really can't do much, because those are the pieces that he has to play. What he can do, and he's going to have to stop doing it, because the rest I'm going to take a little Alitalia flight to Milan and explain to him that Boateng belongs in the midfield. Because today he set up another lumberjack midfield with Flamini and Nocerino on the field at the same time for absolutely no reason, because we didn't win the midfield.
No.
What happened? As soon as he put in Pazzini for Nocerino, all the game changed. Didn't we find that funny?
But for once, a good adjustment.
But if it would have started at the beginning of the game, maybe we wouldn't have been in this situation, because Boateng belongs in the midfield. Pazzini is a poacher striker who scores the goals that you saw him score today. Very boring goals, very fortuitous goals.
Big word. And you know what, Steve, I believe you did say it a couple of weeks ago, is that with Boateng in midfield, with days when you have games like Montolivo played today that he wasn't not even close to half of his best, is that Boateng is there to support, and that's what you saw a lot in the second half after the change. But no, third place, guys. Fiorentina coming up, and we need to, like, you know, we can't keep on thinking about Balotelli, Lasciara. We need to make sure we defend, because not all games are going to be at San Siro. We do have, I believe, Roma on the last day.
Second last
day. We need a better core and defense, like even Zaccardo. What do we go buy this guy for? Give him a chance, no, this guy?
It's obvious Milan's needs are in defense, and like someone more creative than Montolivo in the midfield.
There we go.
And Milan has to worry, and they have to put out some better performances. They have to get more consistent, because Fiorentina is on the right track. They're winning games, and they're scoring goals.
They're scoring goals, yeah.
And today they beat a Sampdoria team that a lot of teams, convincingly. Sampdoria is not an easy team to play against. They fall a lot. They're out to break.
Yeah.
But today they put 3 past Fiorentina, past Sampdoria.
From home, yeah.
So Fiorentina's on the right track. Milan keeps themselves ahead
for now.
And Lilich today scores, gets an assist, and gives one of those to his old coach Delio Rossi. that strangled him.
You guys actually.
What do you guys think of that?
Do you guys actually think he did it to?
Oh yeah, he was giving the hand like that, like pointing at him and everything.
You know
and
what?
good for Lilich.
Yeah, good for you, because getting choked up, like, I don't even know what he could have possibly said, but anything he could have said does not deserve your coach to be strangling you
On national TV.
on national TV. Anyways,
It's very interesting, the race for the final Champions League spot in Italy. Look, everybody, I think, at this table finds that Fiorentina is very deserving of it. Myself, as a Milanista, it would hurt me a bit, but I wouldn't mind to see Fiorentina in that third spot, because they do deserve it. They have played very, very entertaining soccer all year. The only thing is that if Fiorentina goes to that third Champions League spot and they sell off Jovetic and they don't get deep, it's going to be another crash out in the first round.
Elsewhere, the Roma roller coaster continues. Last week they were at bottom. This week they're on top. They crashed Siena 4-0. And Siena, a team that's fighting for relegation, to get crashed like that. And by no means, Roma is a team they could have possibly gotten something out of, especially Roma is so inconsistent. But Siena to do a better performance. And who shows up today? Osvaldo with the hat trick.
Zorro with the hat trick today. It was about time. This guy, again, consistency. Some weeks he'll go through these. A couple of weeks he'll go great, and not today. Totti was on fire. I don't know if you guys saw that assist on Lamelo's goal.
Yeah.
Excellent. But this is the Roma that we shouldn't be surprised to see if they would have played to their full potential all year. So this whole Zeman, maybe it did bring them down a little bit. We'll see what happens for Roma next year. I don't know if they're going to keep Andrea Azzoli as a coach. Maybe they're going to get Allegri.
Rumors this week, Andrea Azzoli decided to whip into his Roma team and give them a hard time during practice because of the game against Pescara last week. I think Siena, unfortunate that Roma lost to Pescara last week because they took it out on them this week.
Pretty much.
De Rossi got injured, guys. I don't know how serious it is. It was taken off. Can they live without De Rossi?
They did under Zeman, didn't they? Well,
They did. They were inconsistent. They were losing. They were winning. I mean, they're conceding a lot of goals. Just De Rossi's a big piece.
Big piece, but today, positive note, the American again, Bradley, played a fantastic game. He's developing into a very, very nice player. And Andrea Azzoli has to find a way to, if it is serious, to finish off the season without De Rossi.
Always have a plan B, right?
Unfortunately, he has no other options. He has to find a way.
Guys, today Juve played Torino, Derby della Mole. Guys, is it a derby when the last 8 games they played, Torino hasn't scored a goal?
They haven't beat them in 18 years, no?
They haven't beaten them in 18 years, but the last 8 games they haven't scored.
I think it's still a derby, yes, but is it a derby with the importance of the Milan
Is
derby,
it
the Roma
relevant
derby, like the Madrid derby?
It's relevant because of Torino's history. That's about it for now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, until they fix their team and get up to where they were in the heydays of Torino, it's the Torino derby. Everybody in Torino loves Torino and they hate Juve, which is not what goes on in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So that it has to be. It is a derby that is very important to that city. But unfortunately, the soccer was terrible today. Missed penalty by the goal line judge again, who did absolutely nothing. But Juve was too strong.
Yeah.
Vidal, Marquisio, terrible games. And who scores? Vidal and Marquisio.
And they still get it done, guys. That's That's why they're going to be crowned. They got missing 1 point. They got 4 games to do it. So I'm figuring next week they're playing at home against Palermo. I seriously doubt that they're going to lose or tie Palermo. So we should have
And that's going to change the relegation battle again.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Guys, we gave the Scudetto to Juve already, even if officially don't have
We'll
it.
do it officially.
Now, can we officially give second spot to Napoli? After winning 3-0 this week, they found their form. Also, they are scoring goals. They missed loads of chances in the first half. But now, second row. Insigne scored. Gemelli is maybe gaining a starting spot on this team.
Well,
They're
been
gelling.
playing well. He scored a hat trick against Torino, if I believe, but
Scored again today.
didn't get player of the match.
No. Cavani got player of the match. But no, Napoli, I think, guys, second place for Napoli. Unless I don't see them crumbling the last 4 games. And I think, unfortunately, we've got to be realistic. I don't see Milan not having some sort of hiccup in the last 4 games. Milan will win all 4. And Even at that, we're 7 points in all. The second place is to them, and hopefully they keep Cavani so we can have some sort of representation in Italy for Champions League next year.
That's developing into something very, very scary. Juve, Napoli, and Fiorentina in the Champions League, and only Juve is probably the only contender. The other two, if they sell off their assets.
Why are you saying Fiorentina? You're already conceding third
I'm
spot.
just saying that's
Okay.
the situation that we're in.
I know.
Inter finally got the last dagger of the season in the back. Zanetti gets hurt. I don't remember seeing Zanetti getting stretched off on a stretcher, getting stretched off the field. Guys, this is a cursed season for Inter. It's official. When I saw that goal, that's it.
What's
Forget
going on
it.
with your medical staff over there?
Medical staff or not, whatever. Zanetti's of a certain age. Yes, and he's been overused with all the injuries and everything.
Yeah.
And it's sad that you depend. Zanetti's a fantastic player, but he's 37, 38 years old, and you're depending on this guy like that. It's not normal.
No, it's not. And it's, you know what, I think right now, Inter, 4 games left like everybody else. I think you should have, maybe scrapped the season a couple of weeks ago and like really put in your youngsters, because right now it's not like you have a choice, right? You don't have a choice.
Inter's biggest flaw this year is that Inter never had an identity.
You know, that's very well. After that whole, you guys started off well. After that whole little, the starting of the whole Schneider situation, that's where I felt like, yes, you came up with a couple of wins during that time, but it just went downhill.
Because the Schneider incident happened when we started getting injuries, and it would have been the time to insert him in the lineup. We didn't, and that was the mistake.
And you know what? I will say one thing: if Branca is still there next year, Francis, switch over to the dark side.
I won't switch over, but I'm just gonna throw a towel right away because it's not normal. Today we saw another signing of Branca Silvestri that gives away a ball. A pee-wee level clearance on top of the box. It teaches you at 5 years old not to clear on top of the box. The guy, forget it. I mean, I can't even believe we signed this guy for $8 million. Palermo doesn't even want it. They want him back. And after saying Ricky Alvarez saying, you know what, he's starting to play today. He missed a couple of sitters. And Schelotto's the worst buy. I thought Pereira was the worst buy. Schelotto it's just a horrible player.
Pereira's the worst buy because it cost you $15 million.
And Schelotto, it cost us money plus Livaja.
So basically, for the money that you got for Livaya and Schneider, basically covered the cost for Pereira.
Pereira, yeah, pretty much. I'm not even sure if it covers. Guys, let's talk about some serious business.
Serious.
Because this week, the Champions League, we saw 2 fantastic games. Not games, but performances.
By 2 teams.
By 2 teams, they happen to be German, and the 2 teams that got shellacked are the Spanish teams. And let me tell you, Spanish football got knocked off its perch last week, and they got brought back down to earth. Let's start with Bayern, that trashed Barcelona. And guys, we're talking at the beginning of the year, the signs were there. Barcelona lost to Celtic, they lost to Milan. We're saying, is it the end of an era? They didn't beat PSG, they still went through. But they totally got outclassed. Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, no show.
I was watching this game, and we'll get it even to the Dortmund game after. And I don't know if you guys will agree with me. Every time I look at Bayern Munich, a lot of people we talk about total football, Cruyff's football of the '70s, where everybody could interchange position, everybody knows this. And you watch those games, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing like players, would it be Mueller, let's say Lamp's coming off, and Mueller's going to take this position. Everybody's like intertwining in the front.
There's a lot of movement.
There's a lot of movement, and it's like they complement each other so well. And I've been saying it for the last couple of years, Bayern Munich, and got unlucky in the last couple of years where it could have gone both ways. But I think right now, and signing Götze, which we're going to get into soon, it's like this team. Are we seeing a shift of power? I know it's only 1 game, but right now I think we could all say Bayern Munich is the best team in the world. Barcelona. What do we have?
We'll get back to that.
Right now, for me, in my opinion, Bayern Munich is the best team in the world. Barcelona. Yes, it was a complete off night.
More than off night because they got dominated.
Messi had nowhere to go, and I'm still going to go back with my Puyol theory. Is that I'm not saying they would have won. Far from that. But Puyol, every time you see, he's got La Grinta, he's directing traffic, he's making sure everything's getting covered. And even on those games that they played bad, Puyol, 1 or 2 goals. Because I want 1 or 2 goals, even at 3, but at 4-0, guys, no.
But you're saying Puyol and everything, but beyond I don't think the central defense was a problem this game. Alves on the right.
You had a 22-year-old.
And Alba, they got destroyed. Robin Ribery gave these guys nightmares. And yes, they had an 18-year-old kid, Bartra, 19 years old, 20 years old. Yeah, he had a hard time.
He had a very, I know Mascherano was out, but Steve, what did you think?
I think, guys, the Germans don't change the way they play. They've been playing like this for years. It's not a revelation. We're used to the SerieA where it's always, maybe you should play 3 defense, maybe you should play 4 defense, maybe you should play 5 in the midfield. The Germans played the same way all the time.
Yeah, but what made them this time totally destroy? The last year they were missing something.
This time it's experience, not wanting to lose again, and
studying.
Their midfield is top class.
Oh yeah, and that core, Francis, has been together how many years now? Schweinsteiger.
3-4 years. I mean that
they've been playing.
They've been on top. Yes,
and they've always added quality players. Like even this weekend, they played the bench team. Everybody, and they still won nothing. So this team has a very bright future. And once again, we still wonder what is Pep Guardiola going there for the challenge.
What is Guardiola gonna do? I think this is the worst thing that could have happened to Guardiola.
Guardiola is the only person probably in football that doesn't want to see Bayern win the treble this year.
Yes, secretly he must be a bit disappointed.
Of course.
Yeah, secretly.
But
he's going to be happy when he goes to the bank with those
But credit to Bayern also, one thing that we don't say, rarely Bayern makes a bad signing. They signed Martinez from Bilbao. He was a huge factor in this game.
Yeah,
in the midfield.
They sometimes you look at the first glances of the numbers and it's like, I think they overspent, but nothing is, there's no situations where you have to think back, oh my God, we really spent way too much money for this guy. But with Götze coming, there's going to be people leaving. So
let's also bring to the fact that the German football, when they were down in the dumps, they repaired it quickly and they have loads of cash.
True. They're well organized.
Their
marketing, their ticket pricing, the whole thing. They're well supported. All the clubs are well supported. A+ for German football.
But a shift in power, you can't really say a shift in power after one game. I think we should, even if they do win a Champions League, for me a shift of power because Barcelona has done it for what, guys? Probably the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So that for me will be an actual power because even if you win this year, if somebody else wins next year, what have you proven? But right now, I do still stand by best team in the world as we speak.
As impressive as Bayern was, to me, the performance of the week, and the one I totally didn't expect, was Dortmund's trashing, and I repeat, trashing of Real Madrid, and the way that Dortmund played. They pressed everywhere on the field. They were on top of the 18th, and they were winning the ball, attacking with speed. Madrid looked lost, and Alonso looked like overwhelmed. It was way too fast. It looked like a kid on the highway.
We had Robert, Wham, Bam, thank you, Mam, Lewandowski. What a performance.
That was a spectacular performance by Borussia Dortmund, but I have to just bring this out. The Real Madrid back line is terrible.
Oh yeah.
Pepe had bad dreams of the Polish poacher all night. He could not contain them at all. He was not getting any help by Sergio Ramos. It was terrible. It was a terrible defensive play, and I'm very, very shocked with a Mourinho team getting 4 goals put behind.
No response. Absolutely no response. And even at 1-1, you know what? You think it might be.
And they didn't deserve to get that 1-1. It should have been 2-0 because they got a penalty that didn't get called, and Madrid went the other way and they scored. It could have been 2-0, and Dortmund did not collapse.
And for me, it's like before the game, the whole Götze signing, right, that they made official. I'm like, what kind of mentality is in that dressing room? They're going to come out, And I said last week that I really see Real Madrid in the finals. And at 2-1, even at 3-1, guys, you know what? A 2-0 win for Real Madrid at home is still possible. But for them to be totally dominated this way, I really wasn't expecting this. And to the fans of Bayern Munich, supporting their team, Dortmund. For me, I really have to say I was very, very surprised.
It was a fantastic atmosphere for Champions League football, and I have to say that no pundit anywhere in this world predicted this was going to happen in Champions League this week.
Yes, the way Dortmund was playing, I felt myself watching the game, and I was cheering, and I was like falling in love with this team. Because they're fun to watch. They're full of energy. They're full of quality. They're full of speed. They don't have no inferiority complex.
But
kudos to Klopp,
Yeah.
because not a lot of people talk about Klopp. Guys, is he considered one of the best coaches in Europe right now?
He has no choice to be. He's doing the job with not a lot of resources, and they play a lot of football.
he's the Guidolin of the German league. But I will say this, where Klopp might earn his world-class stature for me is that if next year, without Götze and probably Lewandowski is going to leave as well, if he can still manage a top 3 finish in the German league, I think he'll earn that those stripes as a maybe top 5 coach in the world.
And just credit to the midfielder Gundogan, that was a big piece again. Another defensive midfielder had a big role to play. Won a lot of balls. It was all over the winning tackles. And he was sending the counter-attack, attacking, sending positive. Dortmund were positive. They got the ball right away they were looking forward. They never look for a back pass. They always look forward. Guys, can Barcelona or Real Madrid come back from these 2 defeats?
Barcelona, no. Madrid, a 3-0 win. I give it a 10% possibility. I don't see. Very unlikely. I'll leave it to that. Steve.
It's so hard for me to even comment on it because I couldn't believe the performances from both German teams. I don't know how positive the both Spanish teams can be to get back into this. The 2-0, the Milan with Barcelona. Milan's inferior to these two German teams. So yes, they were able to come back and deservingly so. Let's face it. But now these 2 German teams. Wow, they're going to play the exact same way that they played at home, they're going to play on the road too. I say they cannot come back.
Especially Bayern, you just have to go there and try to score.
They
Even
score
if they
one
can
goal.
say that, that's it.
That's all.
Okay, we'll just go over a few rumors that we've heard this week.
What do we got on time? Because I like to.
We have 8 minutes left.
Okay, we're good.
Suarez, with the biting incident, gets 10-match ban. Is Suarez out? Will he? First of all, is Liverpool willing to keep this guy for 10 games that he won't play at all?
Not after Saturday's performance.
Should they start cashing in and now, even Suarez as a player saying, listen, I'm fed up of England, I'm leaving.
I don't think Suarez is going to play another game for Liverpool. That's my honest opinion. I know it's only 1 game, but after a performance from Liverpool on Saturday 6-0 against Newcastle, Mr. Dan Nixon, again, we'll send out your thank you to Francis for giving you Coutinho. But no, I think it's over because the 10 game ban, I think was given because, you know what, even though they were saying that Ivanovic didn't get hurt, he wasn't injured, he's not going to miss any games, it's still 10 matches, and I think it's because of his reputation that precedes him that they got. So no, I do not see Luis Suarez staying. You know what, maybe bring back Andy Carroll. You got Sturridge. I don't know if Borini's going to stay.
Bring back Andy Carroll.
Look, he's been scoring with the Hammers. You're not going to throw away a 35 million euro investment.
He brings back something different, but I don't think it's the type of player that Roger wants on his team. He's not technical enough.
Well, I don't see Liverpool throwing away 35 million pounds. Sorry, not euros, pounds.
Let's talk about another British team, Manchester City. And now Roberto Mancini has said that he wants City to be active on the transfer market and early. Doesn't want to get stuck with leftovers like they did last year with Rodwell, Garcia. They want top players. And now they want Cavani and apparently El Shaarawy for 35 million. Cavani is possible. The El Shaarawy rumor, they actually believe it.
No.
And if you're Milan, you take that 35 million.
No, I think the rumor is true. Like, you know, that they got an offer, but no, I'm never going to sell for 35 million El Shaarawy. Steve?
I don't know where Manchester City is going there. They're just their transfer window is just a soap opera. You never know what to believe. But I wouldn't pass it by them. 35 million for El Shaarawy. Again, guys, 40 million for Vidal, 35 million for El Shaarawy. Give it to them.
I know that Manchester City had offered 45 million. Bayern Munich had offered 45 million for Vidal. It came out and they refused it. I would we discussed this already. Vidal for Juventus, for your top player, you need to make a decision. So we'll see what this transfer window brings. I know, you know what? I think there's going to be a lot of splash during the transfer window. That's for sure.
I think there's a lot of talking. The other one, Barcelona apparently offered 30 million to Inter for Andanovic. Would you spend 30 million for a goalie, especially if you're a team that doesn't get dominated? You have the ball 70% of the time. If I mean, I love Andanovic, but 30 million for a goalie, sell right away.
30 million.
Pay the plane ticket as well. Because look at Victor Valdez. If he's going to leave Barcelona, I will say it here on Red Card Weekly, wherever he goes, he will not have the successful career that he had at Barcelona.
No.
He was facing 4 to 5 shots a game with 80 to 20% in possession.
30 million, for a goalie.
There's another rumor, Jovetic, apparently Arsenal are really pressing to sign Jovetic. Even Roma's apparently after Jovetic, which I don't know. Which worries me is that Fiorentina now is linked with offensive players like Figoli from Valencia, Sanchez from Barcelona. Does that mean that, yes, they're probably willing to part with Jovetic right now?
I think that for the right price, they're gonna probably part with Jovetic, and if they do spend to replace him and replace him with Sanchez, who hasn't been playing at Barcelona, and upgrade some other pieces, it might be possible. You guys have to remember, Jovetic, his knee is not 100%.
Yeah.
And if he has another injury where it's more severe than what he had, they will get zero for him in the end. Do I want Fiorentina to sell Jovetic? No. Do I want Fiorentina to sell Jovetic to someone in Italy? Maybe, because he stays in Italy. Do I want Jovetic to go to Arsenal? No. For the love of God, no. Please do not send him to Arsenal. Anywhere but Arsenal.
4 minutes left, quickly. Last rumor, Robin for 18 million to Juve. To me, it doesn't seem that Robin would fit in that 3-5-2 system. You picture him replacing Lichtstein on that wing and tracking back.
Tracking back, no, I think that would be. If you bring in Robin, you need a different system. Conte needs to come up with a different system and prove to everybody, because he hasn't proven it to me, that's for sure, that you are a world-class coach.
Guys, I'm going to stop you right here. Robin will be the flop of the SerieA if he comes. The league is not made for the type of soccer that he plays. He's too one-dimensional, he's not smart enough, and he's made out of paper.
And if he does, though, I think it will be mostly for Champions League. That's what I think. But then again, you go get Bentner and Anelka, and they never play in those.
Guys, finally our red cards of the week. My red card, I'm going to start because I'm really disappointed. The Impact. Their CONCACAF game against Toronto. They go with a second string lineup. We lose to Toronto. It's pretty much over. 2-0 down. I'm really disappointed that the Impact didn't take this more seriously, because the fans do want to see the Impact play Champions League soccer and play against Mexican teams and so on. It would have been really good, extra revenue, good exposure. I'm just disappointed. But I'll give them a break. But I just want to mention I'm disappointed, as a lot of people are very disappointed.
But you did go to the game on Saturday.
Good performance, very entertained. Paponi, thumbs up.
And yeah, so let's see if they come up with their priorities for this season. My red card is going to go to, fortunately last week during the Milan-Juventus pre-game, there was some racist chants at Boateng, which after the PE announcement, they had to stop. And then they caught about 30-40 idiots, and I'm not going to call them Juventus fans because that's just disgraceful. 30-40 idiots with a piece of paper with Balotelli's face on it saying, Italiani negri non esistono. Why are you giving a 30,000 fine to Juventus? What is that going to do? You know what? Those guys are on TV. They got pieces of paper on them. Bring the security over there and kick him out. That's the only. You need to kick him out. What is it going to do?
I think they want Juventus to act on it. That's the thing.
But you know what? Let's just do something. Italiani negri non esistono. You know what? Those freaking idiots are going to be the first ones when it's the World Cup. Forza Balotelli. So there, racists. That's my red card.
My red card goes to the whole soap opera with Götze and possibly Lewandowski moving from Borussia Dortmund to
FC Hollywood.
How is this possible that in this day and age in sports this is possible when two teams can possibly face each other in the final of the Champions League, where you're taking the best player from one team and next year you're going to be on the other team? It just doesn't make sense.
It's just Dortmund is a team that they need to cash in once in a while, reinvest. The timing
was wrong.
The red card is the time.
Do you think it's Bayern that threw that info out to destabilize
It's a clause in
Dortmund?
the contract. If you read the article, it's a clause in the contract for Götze. If you meet this asking price, there's no negotiation.
It's not that, but the timing of the announcement was horrible. Bayern threw that out there.
And I know
to destabilize Dortmund.
all the red cards, and we did this one time. The cannoli of the week is something good.
Or you have to 30 seconds.
Dortmund fans for taking this so well with the Götze leaving. Everybody would thank you Mario, and they still supported and they cheered him on. So for that, because if it was in Italy, they would probably thrown some stuff on the field. That's for sure. Imagine a Shavari sounds for Inter next season. Imagine that.
Maybe Nocerino apparently.
Nocerino to Inter.
See you guys next week.
Ciao.